let's put it this way, like the whole PoE 2 versus Last Epoch drama. Let's have a little conversation about it. Because there's a lot of people who have the argument that hey, it's only for content creators, that the drama doesn't exist for normal people. Is literally just being said in my chat right now. So I want to talk about it a little bit. Before we watch this, we gotta watch Frosty LaRue's video, of course. Um, so here's the thing: the fact that they are colliding the schedules that tight on top of each other has a humongous impact that people are missing. I think a large portion of why we content creators are very vocal about it is because it is very annoying for us. It's very, very annoying. And yes, of course, that is absolutely a part of that. Not entirely, but a part of that is because of the way we make a living being content creators, because we want to be able to make content out of it, go to the next launch, make content out of that. That's how we sustain ourselves, pay for our bills, have roof over our heads, and food on the table. I'm not going to talk about too much about streamers and content creators in general because yes, that is very, very much specific to that category of people. Why is it a problem that they're launching the games like this? First off, I think a lot of us that are blasting ARPG games, we're in the position where we do like playing on a launch. And why? Because the first week, maybe even first 2 weeks, are among the most entertaining and enjoyable time frame of a new launch in any game. Hey, I even love playing World of Warcraft games when they even like vanilla releases. Launch week, the first week, racing up to max level, doing the first, pre raid gearing. I love that. That's like one of the most enjoyable time frames ever. And a lot of people agree with me on this, whether you're a streamer or not. So that means that if you have a 2 day time frame before the next launch, that's going to impact those people. Another thing that I know Scissor was bringing up is you always want to be last. I believe it was Sis or Rex. We all agreed on it. I believe it was Sis who said it at least. It's about being last because you don't play Last Epoch for 2 days and then move over to play to PoE 2 and then continue playing that, then go back to that previous game that you played on the launch. You just don't do that. Normally, you would play the game you played last and continue playing that, right? So that kind of like makes people choose, right? And there are people that only want to play Last Epoch and they are not affected by this. There are people that only want to play Path of Exile 2 and they are not going to be affected by this, and that's perfectly fine. The biggest reason why a lot of us are really annoyed with this is because this is going to have a statistical and financial negative impact on the results of the launches for both companies. So both companies will take a hit because of this. So there will be people that are going to abandoning and simply ignoring PoE 2. And there's also going to be people that are abandoning and ignoring Last Epoch, vice versa, right? And that's just the inevitable result of what's going to happen. However, it's going to have a negative impact in terms of financial revenue these companies can make. Now, this is not going to affect grinding gear games very much because of how big they are these days. It will have a significant impact on 11th hour games. Why is this important to bring up in this topic? Well, simply because this will impact future development and releases and progression of their game further down the line. That is the problem with this. So even if this is not too much of a problem for a lot of people, there's still the impact on the company. So because of the fact that it's going to inevitably have a negative impact on both companies, this will result in a downfall or a damage to their capabilities of progressing and developing the game further down the line. That is a problem that everyone, no matter if you only play PoE or only play Last Epoch, you will be affected by this. However, grinding gear games can go through this without that being hopefully not even noticeable, right? So there's that. Kopi, thanks so much for the sub, man.
Kopi5 Fun, just subscribe included the message Gaze Rock.
Thank you, dude. So that is my biggest issue with this release, and that is why we're very upset about this. It's not just all streamers are just bitching because we're gonna make less money. Quite honestly, I think that I'm gonna follow suit with what Rax is gonna do. I think I'll play Last Epoch for 2 days and just gonna ignore sleeping, and then I'll play the launch for PoE 2, and then I'll probably just do 50-50 streams because I want to play both games very badly. I'm really, really hyped for both games. So I'll try to mix and match both, try to weave it that way, see how that feels and what I can do. Maybe I'll do one day that game, one day the other, but most likely I'll do like some sort of 50-50 streams, I think. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I actually am pretty annoyed that I have to go through that process. And any other guy that's feeling like, hey, I want to play both games, they might also do something like that to try to get both games, right? But the biggest impact of this, why it's so upsetting, is because of the financial impact this will hurt a smaller studio being 11th hour games compared to grinding gear games. That is why people are mostly upset about this. So I don't like when people are bringing up the argument that, oh, it's just streamers bitching or streamers just whining because they can't make money. We're going to make money. Don't worry about it. Like we are. Grinding Gear Games have put in a lot of marketing and effort into their 0.2 patch. We'll see how big that is in the reveal stream on the 27th. Last Epoch 11th Hour Games have been putting in more dollars on marketing than they've ever have. There's stupid amount of investments, server server build-up preparations for the launch, marketing, sponsoring streamers for that matter as well. And it is quite important to point out that streamers streaming their game help grow audience to the game as well and increases new player bases for both games as well. So yes, streamers do play a role in this factor. But we're not going to talk too much about streamers in this case. But they're putting a lot of money in it, which is preventing them from, most likely they're not going to change their release date as a direct result of this. And I think it's important to take a step back from whatever shoes you're looking at this drama situation on and look at it from an objective scope. And I think that is super important to do because a lot of people have very, very, very wild takes. And more importantly, a lot of people have are very loud about their opinions. And they seem to be very narrow-minded, tunnel visioning their own perspective. If you want to look at the situation, you have to take a step back and look at it from a broader perspective. It's not just streamers. It's not just blasters. It's not something that you don't give a fuck about because you only play PoE 2 or you only play Last Epoch, right? You have to look at what actually this means and on a level of a company and business scaling for the both companies. GGG will be fine, 11th Hour Games. They are not in a position where they can afford taking huge hits. This launch, the delay they did to make this, to avoid launching the game at the same time as the other games, was deliberately planned and scheduled so that they could put their game back on the map. That is why I've been consistently saying that I'm going to fully support Last Epoch as the best I can, because I think that the game is fantastic. It has an amazing patch that's coming up, and I'm very excited for it, and I really hope that they can do so. So my take is that if you haven't played a game or you haven't bought the game, you can buy the game, try the game out. If you like it, well, there you go. You're welcome. If you do find yourself enjoying the game and you have the money to buy a supporter pack, I would actually recommend buying a supporter pack because I think 11th Hour Games really, really deserves the support and they need that type of financial gain to be able to further develop and progress their game. That is my take on it. And that's me trying to be as objective as I can, looking at it from a neutral perspective on a broader scale. And I think that's the important part to take from this as a whole situation. I also don't think that it's fair to say that Gigi did this deliberately because we don't know. We don't know if it was a malicious attempt. We don't know. The only information I have is that I know for a fact that they spent a lot of time and effort to make sure that Grinding Gear Games was aware of their intentions of their release dates. I'm aware of this. I know this for a fact long before they announced it. So that's part number one. I also talked to GGG, who then informed me that they were unable to schedule it at any other date. And whether they didn't tell me why, I mean, I'm not going to interrogate them. So whether or not that is because Tencent decided it, or it's maybe because they had vacations planned, because you got to keep in mind, Point 2 has also been delayed quite a lot. So maybe it's because it's colliding with the Easter holidays or whatever that's making them not able to have enough staff at hand if they delayed it, and they couldn't do it sooner because it wasn't ready. That puts them in an odd position where they are forced to release on the 4th instead. We don't know if that's the case. Now, obviously, we can give them the benefit of the doubt. You can have your own opinion. I just think that it's important not to start saying, "Oh, they're just trying to stomp on Last Epoch," or something I talked to in the chat I had with Rax, Woody, DM, and Sis was that I told them there was a guy in chat who told me that they had this tinfoil conspiracy theory saying that Tencent is doing this to hurt the 11th Hour Games so they can buy the rest of the company. That was a tinfoil hat take from a chatter, not me. I just want to point that out. I don't think that's the case either. But we will never know. That's the problem, right? We don't know. But again, I think it's important to take a step back, look at it from a broader perspective. And I'm just so tired of reading all the comments saying, "Oh, it's just streamers bitching. It's just streamers complaining about it." Trust me, we are probably the most annoyed with this. Absolutely. It's also part of why a lot of us are making content around it. But again, we need to take a step back and look at it from a broader perspective. It's much more than just streamers being affected by this. All right, so we're going to watch Frosty LaRue's video, PoE 2 versus LE Drama. I've been told that I'm in this video. So here's the link in the Twitch chat. Hello?
What happened to Grinding Gear Games? Oh my god.
Holy crap.
GGG just set themselves up as Sauron.
No.
Wait, what the fuck is that?
Is this video just going to be me saying no all the time?
For weeks now.
Streamers are obviously super annoyed by this.
F
Yes.
that, screw that. I can't believe it. I feel so sick.
I don't even know how to react. Am I excited or am I sad? Because I'm both.
We are literally trying to murder your launch that you've been working on for 9 months.
Oh man. Oh, that is rough.
And what drones? Let me go get the tinfoil.
Agree or disagree, it has
He's still
nothing
talking
to
about the
do
drones?
with the games. They have set themselves up as the bad guy.
I was going to make a video showing me fighting them.
Hey guys, this is going to be more of a serious video for me.
Citizens are getting concerned. They're getting worried. Government just keeps repeating, we don't know whose drones these are. They're not they're not the US military.
Damn it, Riker. Now's not the time. Really, it isn't. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to
I love
recap the
Frosty.
recent drama between EHG, the makers of Last Epoch, and Grinding Gear Games, the makers of PoE 2. But before we get started, I would like to dedicate this video to the man who has always been in Last Epoch's corner, even when the chips were down and the winds turned on the hype of Last Epoch. He was always there to support them. This one goes out to you, Aaron Action RPG. He was so very excited for the major patch
I
that
have
was
one of
about
those
to be
lawnmowers.
released. Nothing could ruin his mood. Until one day.
Record. Hey everyone. Everyone's asking me my opinion, so I might as well just make this video. Obviously, everything happening with GGG and LE has been talk of the town, and us content creators love our drama.
Last Epoch has
Rather, there
announced in
wasn't any
February
drama.
that their big, huge update, if you don't remember, class rework, crafting, a new faction, dungeon rework, new sets, and the set rework about salvaging set bonuses and putting on your items, new bosses, champions, 30 new uniques, I think they said. GHAZZY is now in the game, idle crafting in the end game. It launches April 2nd.
And they have been building up this season for a very long time. It's almost going to be like a relaunch of the game, and there has been a lot of buzz around it. Literally, the trailer on YouTube has 1.6 million views. Content creators literally on Twitch have already been switching over to Last Epoch to get ready for the new season. And there's been, I think most people would agree, a decent buzz around it.
All right, we just got Path of Exile 2 content update 0.2.0 teaser, and my chat's telling me that they're gonna launch on April 4th. April 4th?
Emotional, damn it!
I would love it if these gaming companies would stop releasing games at least in the same week. At least give me 7 days to blast them. And then I think a lot of people, and I think in some cases the companies, would benefit as well.
Well, that didn't happen because there was some news that dropped when I was out with the wife. And it was funny, I actually saw one content creator reached out and said, "Man, I'm sorry, dude." And that was like the first thing I read. And I was like, oh no. Like, I knew immediately what the reference was, and then it was just like my phone exploded because of Grinding Gear Games making the decision to drop their big update 020 April 4th.
Why? No. I was hoping you guys were fucking with me. No. Bro, I'm so excited and I'm so upset at the same time. Oh God.
The community is pretty split on this. You see a lot of people are kind of annoyed at GDD for putting it 2 days after Last Epoch. Obviously, some people don't care. A lot of people are only going to play Path of Exile or only going to play Last Epoch. So it's kind of whatever for them.
Yeah.
Streamers
what I talked about earlier.
are obviously super annoyed by this.
And then I was just pissed the rest of the day. Literally, I was pissed off the whole day. I was commenting and writing on X.
Like, okay, it puts the streamers in a weird spot, which you might say, okay, who the fuck cares about what streamers
Also
are going to
true.
say, and not say, okay, base G.
I also, Tro, just want to point out, like, I think DM is right on this. Yes, we streamers are super annoyed, as this put it. Yes. but does it matter for the rest of the fucking player base? The player base that actually makes up the majority of the player base? No, it doesn't matter at all. But it's like I talked about before we watched this video. It has an impact on marketing, ROI, because games benefit from streamers playing their game. You always have to make that argument. And yes, we streamers are super annoyed, absolutely. But we shouldn't be dictating it. But it is also a very large amount of people, a humongous amount of people that are annoyed with this because of the fact that playing a game on the launch is so much fun. And you can't do that if you get 2 days and then now you're going to split the player base. And like I talked about before, it's going to impact the companies. Now, GG's fine, but 11th Hour Games is a smaller studio. They want this big launch that they've been prepping for to put their game back on the map, right? And if they don't make enough revenue, then that's going to hurt their capabilities of developing the game further down the road. And I think that's very important to point out. And that's a big problem. People seem to just get hooked or stuck on the comment that streamers are complaining about this. Oh no, I'm a streamer, my revenue. But you have to look past that. There's much more to it than just us streamers talking about the revenue.
But then at the same time, it is a marketing play for either company to have streamers play their games.
Exactly what I said.
Obviously,
yes.
Right? So having all the streamers basically go from Last Epoch to Path of Exile 2 immediately kind of hurts the game also.
The best thing for streamers is if they're all 3 to 4.
I want to say this is why DM's the GOAT. This is why him and I could get along so well. We have base takes, and we do the Tavern Talk together, and it's just perfect, okay? DM's the GOAT.
4 weeks apart, right? And then you can just, play each game for 3 to 4 weeks, make as much content as possible.
Like, I was hoping I'd get like a week of Last Epoch. Now I get 2 days?
When you have 2 games launching at the same time, what's really realistically going to happen is people will play Last Epoch for like 2 days, and then Path of Exile 2 drops, and then people go to that one. And Zizzer made a really good point on this, which is that you don't really play a launch and then go back to the launch after playing it like another one. Very typically, you're going to play one and then you move on to the other. Are we saying the issue is the community being split? I mean, kind of. Having them launch at the same time makes it difficult for people to be able to enjoy both launches.
Can we declare some kind of ceasefire here? Like when we know another game is about to come at a certain time, can we not schedule it I don't know, within 2 days of each other or within the same day?
I want to play both. I've been talking about this before. I want to play PoE 1 for a month. I want to play PoE 2 for a month. I want to play Last Epoch for 1 month minus 24 hours so I can make room for Diablo 4 for 24 hours. Then back to PoE 1. That's how I want to play. I want that cycle. A month that, month there, 24 hours in D4, and then back at the cycle again. That's what I want.
Honestly, if you go later, even a week later or 2 days or 2 weeks later, you let people get it out of their systems, right? The people that like Last Epoch and PoE 2, if you let it give them 2 weeks, they can get Last Epoch out of their systems. I think you'll have even more people playing PoE 2.
I don't want to get, brutally abused by my sleep. I will never sleep again. I just have to skip sleeping.
That people say, well, PoE 2 is way bigger. They don't give a shit about Last Epoch. I mean,
That's exactly right.
Clear with the communication. I know for a fact that 11th Hour Games did inform Grinding Gear Games of their intentions of launch dates before they had announced or decided to launch on the 4th. I know that for a fact.
Whether you agree or not, Grinding Gear Games knew 150% Last Epoch's huge season 2 that they put more marketing dollars into, that they put more time into any content release they've ever had, that they have openly spoke back and forth, knew it was coming April 2nd. They literally announced it in February. So they, you can only derive from that they picked April 4th for a reason. I don't know any other way to look at it. It has nothing to do with PoE 2 being a good or bad game. The studio planted its feet and said, hey, this is a business. We want the community to focus on us. and we're gonna bury the little guy.
And that means that it is going to lose a huge chunk of the player base. Probably quite a few people won't even play Last Epoch then, because I just kind of played for 2 days and then dip, which will definitely hit them pretty hard for revenue. They are the smaller game, and while they do have a banger of a patch coming out, I do think it's pretty unfortunate timing.
It's all just, to be honest with y'all, it's all just bullshit. It's a video game. Yeah, it's fun to make content about, and it's fun to, you know, get all worked up about and shit, but it's just literally a competing video game.
2 days behind the tidal wave surge. Last Epoch trembles on the verge.
Getting depressing, you know.
GGG's update cuts like knives, stealing the light like a thief in the night. Oh, GGG, you're ruthless. Yeah, you play it cold. You drop your bomb while the story's told. A tyrant mover, just bold design. Making headlines while you cross the line.
You know, Last Epoch has a chance to do the most hilarious thing possible, which is delay 2 days after the launch of Path of Exile 2. They should just leapfrog it. Just launch it April 6th.
Leapfrog it.
It would be absolutely hilarious. And put the shoe on the other foot. I think that's the
My-
correct move here. 900 IQ.
Oh god, that's hilarious. Ah shit, guys! If you haven't already, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to him if you haven't already. Don't forget to drop a comment. Helps the algorithm. You know how it is. Watch the video from start to finish. Drop a like, comment, all that shit. Oh man, I don't know, dude. It's depressing. It really is. I'm just tired of hearing people say, "Oh my god, it's just streamers whining about our revenue." There's more to it than that. It's hurting the company's capabilities of furthering their development of the game and progressing the game's development in general. That's just all there is to it. That's what's going to happen to 11th-hour games. And it's really fucking annoying that that's the case. The other impact is for the people that are blasters, not streamers specifically, but blasters in general, where they are now going to be in a position where they just simply cannot... play the game for a week and then play the next game for a week. Like, they can't do that starter sequence in both games. They have to pick and choose now. That is the biggest take out of this. Anyways, don't forget to check out Frosty's video. I'll leave a link in the description down below for it. And thanks so much for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and leave a comment down below what the ideal cycle of content you have. Mine was obviously, as the comments here says, 1 month LE, 1 month PoE, 1 month PoE 2, 24 hours T4. Let me know what your ideal schedule is in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, stay safe and keep rocking.